There's renewed buzz about Nolan's next blockbuster, The Odyssey, and I, for one, couldn't be more excited. The film is shot entirely in 70mm IMAX, which means significantly higher resolution, a taller aspect ratio, and a much greater sense of immersion. Matt Damon takes the lead as Odysseus, while Tom Holland will play his son, Telemachus. There's Charlize Theron as the sorceress Circe, and many more powerhouses, like Anne Hathaway, Zendaya, Himesh Patel, Robert Pattinson, and Lupita Nyong'o. I absolutely don't want to give any spoilers, but now is the perfect time to brush up on Homer's epic poem, which the film is based on. While some of you may have studied Homer's Odyssey in school, much of the world isn't familiar with the Greek epic. So let's dive right in. It all begins at the end of a 10-year-long, unwinnable Trojan War, which the Greeks eventually win thanks to the Trojan horse, a seemingly innocent gift that was King Odysseus's genius idea. After winning, he sets course for home. The distance from Troy, in modern-day Turkey, to Ithaca, a real island of Greece, would have taken a Greek ship 2 weeks at most. Instead, it takes Odysseus 10 more years to return to his kingdom. This in itself is a powerful lesson about how even our greatest triumphs can bring unexpected and unwelcome consequences. Knowing Nolan, he will likely make this a multi-layered, non-linear epic, much like the original poem, which jumps time and perspectives to tell its story. With Odysseus presumed dead, his faithful wife Penelope and son Telemachus are fighting a battle of their own back in Ithaca. A mob of arrogant suitors have taken over the palace and are trying to force Penelope to marry one of them. Telemachus, a young man who has never known his father, struggles with his own identity and destiny. He sets out on a journey to find his father, learning to become a man and a leader in the process. With Tom Holland in the role, this coming-of-age story will be a powerful parallel to Odysseus's own journey. As Odysseus's crew crosses the sea, they face many legendary trials, like their encounter with the giant one-eyed Cyclops, Polyphemus, who will be played by Benny Safdie. The Cyclops traps Odysseus's men in his cave and begins to eat them. But instead of fighting with brute force, Odysseus gets the giant drunk, blinds him, and escapes by hiding his men under the giant's sheep. They later encounter the nymph Calypso, a role rumored to be played by Zendaya. She holds Odysseus captive on her island for a full 7 years, offering him immortality to stay with her forever. But he yearns for home. After he escapes, he encounters the sorceress Circe, played by Charlize Theron, who famously turns Odysseus's men into pigs. Odysseus uses his cunning to resist her magic. He eventually leaves her island, only to sail past the Sirens, creatures whose beautiful songs lure sailors to their deaths. To pass, Odysseus has his men plug their ears with beeswax and tie him to the ship's mast, allowing him to hear the song without being able to act on it. After all his struggles and a journey into the underworld, Odysseus returns home to Ithaca, only to find his palace overrun. The final battle isn't a glorious one. It's a gruesome, bloody affair that requires him to reclaim his life in disguise. He and Telemachus team up to slaughter all the suitors and reclaim their legacy. I'm really excited to see how Nolan will mount the reunion of father and son. Damon and Holland will be a treat. This timeless epic is a lesson in so many things. From the story of the Cyclops, we learn how to find a creative solution when faced with an impossible challenge. From Circe and Calypso, we learn to be wary of temptations that promise a life of ease but take away our sense of self. From the Sirens, we learn that to achieve a big goal, you must voluntarily restrain yourself from distractions. And finally, from Odysseus's return, we learn that the hardest part of a journey isn't always the trip itself. It's the difficult process of coming back to yourself and reclaiming what you've lost. The Odyssey has several parallels in other world myths. In India, there's the epic Ramayana, where the heir-apparent Lord Ram is forced into an exile, and he goes on to overcome the demon king Ravan before returning home. In Britain, King Arthur's long quest for the Holy Grail has similar themes of a hero's spiritual trials, as does the Sumerian epic of Gilgamesh, who embarks on a long and difficult voyage to find the secret to immortality. If you enjoyed this Mythic primer, happy to tell you about a new series I'm planning, Mythic Cinema Scrolls, where I'll dive into the myths and legends in some of the biggest blockbuster films we all know and love. Up next, I'll be exploring the mythic core of one of my favorite film series, The Matrix. Write in the comments what other films you'd like me to cover. Until next time, goodbye and stay mythmerized.